7:37 on WMAL, where Washington comes to talk. Coming up at 8:05, Byron York, and at 8:35, conservative columnist Kurt Schlichter will join us, and he's a buddy of yours, and I want to hear about your latest outing.
There was a lot of alcohol. We will not discuss
we will not discuss
that was consumed.
Yeah,
no, that is off the record.
Well, if the Twitter feed is any indication, it was quite a bit.
I don't know what you're talking about. KT McFarland joins us now. KT, we have a new Secretary of State. He's John Kerry. He's reporting for duty. But really quickly, I would like to address our former Secretary of State, Hillary Clinton. Did you see the love fest there on 60 Minutes this Sunday?
Yeah, but those words are going to come back to haunt them.
Yeah, tell me.
Well, Egypt, President Obama's saying it's a great achievement. Secretary Clinton achieved that. Look, she's figuring, I'm getting out of town just in time. The wheels are about to come off the bus. And she made references to it in her hearing last week, and a little bit of it when she talked on 60 Minutes, the spread of Islamism, etc. But President Obama saying, Egypt, one of our great accomplishments. That place is about to blow.
It sure is.
Yeah,
and how would you like those words played back to you in about 3 years, when Egypt is at best a military dictatorship, at worst in chaos, or even worse than that, an Islamist, anti-American, anti-Western, let's go to war with Israel, Muslim Brotherhood.
Well, what's the outlook here? Because, the headline I'm reading from the Christian Science Monitor is saying that the protests are really out of control. They're very upset with the government. But the current government is the Muslim Brotherhood, leaning toward Islamist. Right. So what's the alternative? Or do these people think the Muslim Brotherhood and the Islamist government that's already there is not extreme enough?
Well, the question you have to have is Egypt almost ungovernable? 2 years ago when the Arab Spring broke out and everybody was doing the high fives in the end zone, isn't this great? Democracy's breaking out. I was really skeptical, and I was the skunk at the picnic because I said, look, a revolution is always a three-act play. In the beginning, everybody's united, let's overthrow the dictator. But Act Two, it's their turn to govern, and they're usually not very good at it, and they fall out amongst themselves. Now, let's think about Egypt, for example. What are the ingredients that were there that led to the Arab Spring in the first place? Large youth population, 75% of the population under the age of 30. Large youth unemployment, officially 25%, probably a lot higher, and that doesn't even count women. So you've got a lot of young people with no jobs and no prospects for things getting better. Then the second reason, the economy. Well, under Mubarak, the economy in Egypt was growing at 8% GNP. Now it's flatlined. Why? Nobody's putting foreign investment in Egypt. Tourism, one of their major sources of income, is way down. Who wants to go visit the pyramids right now?
Right.
And wealthy Egyptians are leaving the country and taking their money with them. So however bad the economy has been, it only gets worse. Egypt needs $15 billion a year to feed its people. And where is it going to get it? Are we going to give it to them? The Saudis might have, but they don't want to give to a Muslim Brotherhood country for fear that the infection takes over their country. And then finally, the growth of Islamism. Mm-hmm. The Muslim Brotherhood might be in charge, but the jihadists and the extremists and Al-Qaeda and the terrorists, that's the water in which they fish. And so as Egypt kind of disintegrates, if the army is unable to get control, if the government is unable to get control, I don't see how it gets a lot better.
All right. Now, Larry mentioned we have a new Secretary of State. I guess he'll be sworn in later this week, but he was approved by the Senate, confirmed by the Senate. I think it was yesterday. Mm-hmm. And I saw a picture of him, by the way, afterwards, and I said to myself, you'd expect him to be happy, but I said to myself, looking at him, I said, Senator, why the long face? But then I realized he just has a long face.
He does have a very long
face.
But you've got, there's a point to this, which is this not a poison chalice? Let's go around the world and see, where is there any good news coming here? Okay, well, as Al-Qaeda is on the move, it's now a chronic problem in some 30 different countries, and it's setting up shop in places it never was before. Libya, supposedly, another great success. Well, what has Libya managed to do? We somehow, in our hunt for Gaddafi and getting rid of him, we never bothered to hunt for Gaddafi's weapons. So the huge stockpiles of dangerous weapons he had have now spewed across North Africa, and adding to more revolution. So Libya's not going to go very well. Egypt, we've just talked about. Israel, surrounded. How is Israel going to deal with what it sees as a rising Iran, and it sees that it may have to deal with it on its own? Is there a war coming there? Iran, within the next 4 years, while Secretary Kerry is in charge, Iran is either going to get nuclear weapons, leading to a nuclear arms race in the region, leading to a much increased possibility nukes get used, or there's going to be some kind of a conflict to stop Iran, all of which is bad too. Is there some magic solution here, some fairy wand, some dust you can sprinkle over Iran so it stops short of its nuclear weapons? I don't think so.
On Iran, can I just ask you, there have been these reports out there that maybe there has been an explosion at one of the nuclear facilities underground.
Yes.
And I see varying reports. I say, yeah, it's confirmed. No, it's unconfirmed. What's your sense of that given what you've seen reported on it?
My guess is, I mean, not even what you see reported, because nobody's talking if they know. My guess it's a likelihood that it was a covert operation, you know, by the Israelis, by the United States and the Israelis, by people who don't like the Iranian regime. Now, why do I say that? The argument was always these facilities are buried deep underground. You need bunker buster bombs to get to them and destroy them. One argument was always, who needs to destroy them? Just destroy the entrances to them, and then you bury them alive. And that, I think, is what's probably happened.
Is that what happened, do you think? I mean, do you find these reports credible, I guess is the question.
Yes, I think it's credible, and I think that's
so something has happened in your mind.
Yes, I do think something has happened, and the people who did it don't want to talk about it, and the people who didn't do it don't want to talk about it either.
Well, and meanwhile, we had a little bit of fun about the story of the Iranian government sending a monkey up into space, because it's fun to say Iranian space monkey. But we do, I mean, maybe you can amplify this. This is a real wake-up call. Did we know that they had this kind of delivery system for a potential warhead?
Well, here's the thing about sending a missile up in space that can carry a monkey. Okay, you think, ha, ha, ha. No, what it means is they have the missile technology that can launch a monkey into space, or it could launch a nuclear weapon into space.
Right.
And that's the critical part.
Was that a surprise, though? Did we know that? Did we have the intelligence to, or was this a surprise to us that they have this?
It wasn't a surprise to me. I mean, they've been you need three things for a nuke. You need enriched uranium. We know they're doing that. You need a missile that can deliver that uranium, you know, and then you need to take the uranium and make it small enough and tight enough and the trigger mechanisms working enough so that it fits on the top of that missile. So we know they're enriching uranium. We know they've tested the missiles. What we're not sure about is how close they are to having the blueprint, to pulling it all together. And whether they're there now or whether they're there in 2 or 3 years. I don't know anybody who says they're 10 years away. Yeah. Most people say they're anywhere between, you know, a month and 3 years away.
All right, Katie. And the other thing that we know is that they have vowed to eradicate Israel from the map.
It's on the record there, aren't they?
Well, no. I think what they're going to do is they're going to take the people in Israel who they call descendants of apes and monkeys, and they're going to put them in space.
Oh. Yes. Katie, you know, listen, it's terrifying because it's true. Katie, always good to talk with you.
Thank you.
I feel smarter every time we
I
finish our
always
segment with Katie McFarland. Fox News national security analyst and, of course, host of FoxNews.com's DEF CON 3 show at 2 p.m. on Wednesdays at live.fox